Hey guys, it's Brock. I want to welcome all of you to my show, The Art of Change. I got my good friend and co-founder of the GoldBlock Network coming in right now for a haircut. He should be here any minute. Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Fantastic. Come in.
Hey, man. Can you help me out with this?
Absolutely. Have a seat, dude.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this. Good?
I'm joking, man.
Is it good? Is it good?
Yeah, that's good.
Alright guys, today being the very first show of The Art of Change, we want to bring you something a little bit different. I'd like to share with you guys my two biggest passions, hair and obviously blockchain.
So, Brock, you're into blockchain, you're into hairdressing, but I'm curious, man, how did you get into hairdressing?
Yeah. It's really a funny question, Matt. I never had dreams to be a hairdresser. I grew up in Los Angeles. I did music, kind of like every kid. That being said, it wasn't paying the bills. I got myself a job and I started working at Nordstrom's right down in Glendale when it was at the Galleria. I worked in the men's rail department, which is pretty much cooler, hip, higher end male fashion, so men's fashion. One day, handsome gentleman comes walking to my department, beautiful blonde on his arm, and what did I do? I ran up to them and introduced myself, stuck out my arm, started speaking with them. The gentleman introduced himself as Robert and his wife was Marlene. So I'm sizing him up, all this different stuff, and probably about 15-20 minutes into it, the wife grabs my arm and goes, "Gosh, I love your tattoos, you'd make a great arm model for us." In the back of my head I'm like, "Arm model? What are you talking about?" She goes, "We own a professional hairstyling tool company called Ergo Styling Tools, and for some of our campaigns we like people with cool tattoos holding our blow dryers and flat irons, things of that nature." I had no idea what she was talking about, but yeah, it was pretty crazy. So we continue to talk, and at the end of it, ringing him up, and Robert hands me his business card and goes, "Give me a call after the holidays. I'd like to share with you a little bit about the hair industry." And in the back of my head, I'm like, the hair industry, what is this guy talking about? I get my hair cut at Fantastic Sam's or cut it myself.
I've been there.
Exactly, right? But I put it back in my pocket, holidays come and go, and it was a couple weeks into January, and I had this little red radio flyer that I've ever, it's like a wagon, and I used to pull my like G.I. Joe and Ninja Turtles into it, and I filled that up with business cards. So I'm like, you know what, I want to do something different than work at Nordstrom, so I started going through them. And I picked this one, that one, and one of them just so happened to be Robert Reed of Ergo Styling Tools. So he's the very first person I called. So I remember I was like really nervous inside, and really wasn't professional by any means then, but he answers the phone. "Hi, this is Robert Reed of Ergo Styling Tools, how may I help you?" And I'm like, "Hey Robert, it's that guy Brock from Nordstrom's. How you doing, man?" And he goes, this is exactly what he says, right? He goes, "Hey Brock, how's it going?" He goes, "Funny thing, my wife and I were just talking about you the other day."
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I swear. And I'm like, what the heck is this dude talking about? But I was like, all right, whatever. So I start talking with him, and he starts sharing with me a little bit about the hair industry. And he used to be the VP of Sassoon, worked with Paul Mitchell, all the biggest names in the hair industry, right?
Yeah, crazy.
And so now he owns his company. And he goes, in 2 weeks, there's the biggest hair show on the West Coast. It's called the Long Beach Ice Show, International Salon and Spa Expo. And he goes, "Just come check it out, hang on my team and I." All right, well, what do I have to lose? So 2 weeks comes and goes, and I hop in my little Ford Focus that I had that time. And once I get there, I remember this, I get there, I go inside, I get my pass. And at the Long Beach Convention Center, you have to go down this escalator to get into the main convention center. So I hop on this escalator. It's crazy, man. It's crazy talking about this. Go down the escalator, and I take one step inside, and it's just freaking madness, man. Crazy hair everywhere, loud music, people all tatted up, so many beautiful women. Just a world I had never seen or experienced in my entire life. I had this overwhelming sense of belonging, Matt. It was the craziest feeling. And I was in such awe at that time. Probably my mouth was down to the floor, drool coming out of it, because I was just standing there. I was like frozen. And And after, I got myself to go, I made my way to his booth. And I was only supposed to be there for like an hour or two. I ended up hanging out all day. He introduced me to all these amazing people who I had no idea who the heck they were, but they were all super kind. And it just inspired me so much. I finally saw these people that looked like me, talked like me, act like me. I was like, wow, okay, all right.
I belong here.
Exactly. I had this sense of belonging, right?
Yeah.
So, what did I do? 2 weeks later, Robert offers me an internship at Ergo and walks me into a local beauty school. And man, that was almost, 6, 7 years ago.
Oh, no kidding.
It really changed my life. It was so fascinating to see. And I just, what did I do? I started at the bottom and I slowly worked my way to the top. Every single day I would get home from beauty school after working a few hours at Ergo, and I would practice, and I would practice, and I would practice. When they say repetition is the father of learning, it definitely is. Mm-hmm. And I did everything I could to be a part of it. And it just, I'm a big believer in when you truly believe in something and are willing to give it your all, anything is possible. And I've made my way up to lead global educator at Ergo. I've traveled all around the world with them. In a nutshell, that's pretty much how I got into the hair industry.
Man, that is so cool. So a chance encounter with a stranger whom, if you didn't have that job, you probably would have never run into, led you to where you are today. I mean, I think these journeys are so interesting.
It is.
Just random events that happen and, lead you to a new life, essentially. Right? This chance encounter led you to a new life.
I would not be here today. I would not be standing here today talking about hair and blockchain technology, which are two different things, right? But at the end of the day, for me, it means so much, because without hair, blockchain would have never been a thing for me.
Right. One chance encounter to another chance encounter that leads you to, the life you are in right now, which is hair and blockchain. So, amazing story. But how did that lead you to Bitcoin? I mean, how did you first hear about Bitcoin?
It's really funny how one thing in your life could just explode so many doors open for you,
right,
if you will, and that's what hair did for me. A gentleman by the name of Tyler, who used to work for Ergo, a dear friend of mine, best friend of mine, kept on telling me about this stuff, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that, money, and like I was sharing with you before, it was like a scab that he just kept on picking at and picking at. And eventually I'm like, all right, dude, I'll set up this thing called Coinbase and I'll do it. So I did it. And I started looking into it, and I didn't understand it. I didn't know what blockchain was. I didn't even know what Bitcoin was. All I knew is I put some money into it, and I had more money the next day, right? I was like, okay, well,
timing's everything, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And it was like right at the height, like the bottom blew off, and I don't know. It just that itself right there obviously grabbed my attention. But then I just, I started researching and watching videos, and I stumbled upon Andreas Antonopoulos' video, mm-hmm. Bitcoin for Beginners, and I mean, just the evolution that he takes you through. I finally started to understand what was going on and how this blockchain stuff, what I thought at the time, is going to impact and change the world. And it's just like that bug, and it just got me.
Yeah,
and I couldn't stop. I mean, day and night, I was up till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning just reading stuff, watching stuff, and then I started watching Crypto News by Omar Bam, and I was like, dude, this guy's awesome. And he's like telling all this news, and it just grabbed me. And next thing I noticed, this is all I'm thinking and caring about and talking about, and Bitcoin this and blockchain this, and it's like, where did the hair stuff go, because that's all I was looking at before. And next thing I notice, you know, I'm so deep into this that I far surpassed my friend Tyler, and it just hasn't stopped since. I mean,
So what do you think it is about it? What do you find? What captured you?
it's the technological revolution that I believe called blockchain, right?
Okay.
Now that's pretty vague, right? But it is that truth protocol that we shared in our introduction, right? It brings truth to a system that I believe right now is lacking. It brings banking to 2.5 billion people that don't have it. It brings a world that people have not seen before, and you know, they're calling it like Web 3.0, decentralized applications. I do believe it. I mean, just imagine a world, I mean, I know they're building this, where something simple as health records are put on the blockchain. So many people every single year are misdiagnosed, given too much of this, given too little of that, because each doctor doesn't know what the heck is going on with that person, because there's nothing bringing them together. I mean, that's a big, small example, if you will.
But it's the potential it has to change the world, right? I mean,
exactly.
It's, you know, let's call it what it is. It's
exactly. Let's call it what it is. And that right there, once I'm getting chills, man. That right there, I'm gonna look in the camera. That right there is what changed my life. I never in a million years would have ever thought that I would go from hairdresser to now enrolled into some of the most prestigious courses, schools, if you will, around the nation, and just really giving this my entire life. I love hair. I will always do hair till the day I die, but this is my purpose now. This is our purpose. This is what we are doing to hopefully help influence and change some people's lives and open their eyes, ears, and hearts, because a world that is driven by true blockchain technology, where things are put on a ledger. I'm talking about everything from government to health to gambling to finance, to marriage records, voting, so big, right? Huge, right?
huge.
Fake news, right? Real news. What's fake? What's this? This is why I am here. This is why
social economic impact, everything. Brock, I got to tell you, it's captured me. I think in a very similar way that it captured you. So, you know, when you talk about this and say it gives you chills, hearing you talk about it gives me chills, because I'm with you right there. That is awesome.
Absolutely, man. And I'm just so excited for the future. I just want to get into this. People call this like a bubble, tulip mania. Go look up what tulip mania was, right? I'm not going to share that definition for you guys. I want you guys to go look it up.
Do the research.
Do the research, right?
Yeah.
Nothing compared. Tulips don't have any technological advances for modern day societies, right? They look good, they're beautiful, but people tend to forget, like, the bubonic plague going on with that. There's just so many things, but this is far bigger than even that word. Cryptocurrencies, we like to call them digital assets, because is every cryptocurrency a currency? I don't think so. And more as technology-based companies, software-based companies, protocol-based companies, not just currency-based companies. And this is what has grabbed my attention. This is why every single person that I speak to starts to understand it. And if you laugh, that's all right. Laugh at me. I don't care. Call me crazy. I know
you're crazy.
I think we're both crazy, right? I think we're both crazy, right?
I'm with you right there, and I like being crazy.
So do I. But at the end of the day, this is what is going to happen, and I'm just excited for us to share with the viewers, the people watching, a little different outtake of how you know, blockchain, crypto, digital assets, whatever you want to call it, right, is going to change everyday lives like ourselves. There's a lot of great content out there, but it's very tech-based, it's very news-based, but there's nothing for kind of like the average person that, maybe doesn't fully understand everything, maybe wants it from a different perspective, maybe wants to see things through a different lens so that they can relate to it. And if we can help one person, then we've done our job. If we can help 1 million people, then we've really done our job, right? But at the end of the day, the GoldBlock Network is to bring together a new group of people into a community that is growing. And
if we could just be one piece of ushering, the people, everyone into this new age, man, that's
exactly it.
That's what we're trying to do here.
That is exactly it. Exactly it.
So Brock, obviously, blockchain is a huge part of your life. What are you doing right now surrounding blockchain?
Dude, that is a fantastic question. So I have decided to go back to school. Right now, currently, if you want to go get a like a bachelor's degree in like blockchain technology or financial technology, it is very difficult. It's few and far between to get like a full-blown degree because it is so new. That being said, some of the finest schools around the world are offering amazing courses. And so what I've decided to do is kind of put together my own my own school with these leading schools, right? If that makes sense. So the first one is the Oxford University's FinTech program, and that isn't just about blockchain, but it's about the whole entire financial tech industry right now. It really will open up my understanding of what's going on, not just in crypto, but in the whole entire scheme of things.
But fintech is huge right now,
huge.
And blockchain is a huge part of fintech. So you got to really learn about the macroeconomics of it.
Definitely, and that's so important. And it's really awesome because MIT, some of the leading people in the blockchain department are the ones that created this program, this curriculum, this course, if you will.
So it might be good.
I hope so, and I'm going to keep everyone updated. So
that's right.
I really hope so. For
MIT, and Oxford. I mean, these are the top of
the top of the top. The next one is probably one of my favorite, right? And I can't say my favorite, but the teacher is one of my favorite, and it's the University of Nova Scotia. It's based out of Greece. They're really one of the only ones that offer a master's degree in blockchain technology, right? Okay. But they do offer an MOOC course. It is taught by the one, the only, Andreas Antonopoulos.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, and it's live. It's free. It's a 12-week course and it's just literally everything about digital currencies. Next one is Princeton's Coursera program. That's really based on the tech side of things, which I want a deeper understanding because I understand like the social, even like the financial, but like the tech side, how it was created, the coding, what is a hash, what is, what is a blockchain.
It's a course in cryptography.
Exactly, there we go. That's exactly, that's
awesome.
That's what they should call that,
that's,
right?
That's important to know, right? I mean, you want to even understand some of the companies and how they're doing it and how secure it is, and it's these days it's all about the tech.
Absolutely. And the last but not least is Harvard Business created an amazing program. It's a blockchain program specifically based on the understanding and real world use cases of blockchain. And so these are starting at different times. The Princeton Coursera I started like 2 weeks ago. On the University of Nova Scotia, I started that a week ago. Oxford's program starts like October 10th, and then the Harvard starts January 24th or 25th.
Okay.
One thing that I'm going to do for everyone is put all of that information down below in the box, so you guys will be able to click, check it out, and hopefully attend some of these classes yourself. Like I said, why would you not take a class by Andreas Antonopoulos? I mean, he's the leading Bitcoin expert, and the man is giving his education away for free.
Huge opportunity. Huge opportunity.
Huge. And we're not being paid. I'm not being a spokesperson for any of these schools whatsoever, you know. I'm just sharing this because I know how important it is. And if you're watching this and you want a better understanding, take the class. You know,
right.
Absolutely.
It's like, you know, being able to hear a lecture by Bill Gates in what, the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. Or being a hairdresser, right, and getting these classes taught by Vidal Sassoon. I am super pumped, super stoked because you know, I will finally start to gain the knowledge that I personally want to find. Because there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, right? But I'm not saying that, you know, it's bad by any means, because there's a lot of great stuff, but then there's a lot of garbage. And then it's like, how do you decipher between the two unless you have someone or someone that you trust kind of point you in the right direction. So if you have the ability to take these classes, gain a deeper understanding, if you want to, you know, fulfill your dreams to get a job with a big fintech company, well, this is going to matter. You know, at the end of the day, it really is. And I just, you probably can hear it in my voice, I'm super excited. I can't wait for next week's class. What I will be doing is putting out a full review on all the classes that I have been taking, all the courses I have been taking, in the episodes to come. Ready? It's like Home Alone. Sorry. We're a little crazy.
Stings a little.
Did you say it stinks? Because I thought it smelled kind of good.
Stings.
Oh, no, you kind of
It smells lovely.
It smells delicious. All right, so we're going to finish up this haircut. We're almost done. Let's get that topped and rock and roll. This has been a fantastic conversation. I really hope that everyone has taken a little bit of something from this. And we really look forward to sharing a lot more with you. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, good, bad, the ugly, put it in the comments below. So what I did is I put a little bit of volumizer in his hair just to give it a little bit of grip and hold. I am using this thing right here. It's called a blow dryer. I don't use it to dry hair, I use it to style hair. Let me see if all right, let's get to it. So, very first thing I'm going to do is turn it up. I like high heat, high airflow. If you are afraid of burning yourself, turn that heat down, right? But especially with shorter hair, it tends to have a lot of cowlicks. So I like to start off in the opposite direction, really manipulating that hair, pushing it back to one side, and then bringing it right back to that other side. Really following the shape of the head. When you're doing this on yourself, it's really easy. Just arms up, turn the nozzle the opposite way, grab your brush and blow dryer, like this, and then like this, right? To get a little bit of volume, especially towards the front, I'm going to use the first few rows of my brush, lock in, scoop up, and pull all the way through. I always want to make sure that the hair is completely dry. Once again, do you mind turning your head this way? First few rows, scoop up, really working with that head shape, and pulling all the way through. Blow dry this down. Alright, blow that out. So, whenever taking product, we're just going to scoop out just a little bit, right? You can always go back and get more. And we always want to make sure that we evenly distribute that product by rubbing it all the way through our hands. If you have rings in your fingers, take them off because rings tend to add a little bit of clumpiness to the product. Don't start on the sides, always rake through the top. One thing I noticed that a lot of dudes do is they add a lot of product everywhere, but especially the sides. And then the sides tend to be a little clunky and chunky. The way to eliminate that is just to really hit it at the end. And always just making sure that the product is evenly distributed all the way through the hands. And you can always get more, right? If you brush that through. Really following the shape of the head. Detail that out. Looking really good, man.
Rock, something about a brand new haircut. I feel like 1,000,000 Bitcoins right now.
Ah, we're not saying a million. Dude, I wish I had 1,000,000 Bitcoins. Jeez. That's just a little bit more than $1,000,000.
Transformation.
Transformation Tuesday. Good, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Dude, good, awesome. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, thanks, man.
Take it easy.